Hey, welcome to the Unshakable Edge, the podcast for those who refuse to settle. I'm your host, Joe Warren, and if you're ready to master discipline, strengthen your mindset, and gain the edge in every area of your life, this is your home. Each episode delivers powerful insights on resilience, growth, and success, helping you take control of your life, take action, and build an unshakable life. Let's dive into this week's episode and sharpen your edge today. Let me ask you a real question today. Have you ever caught yourself saying, I want to start, but I just don't know enough yet? This is an excuse a woman named Tessa used. Tessa had a dream to start her own design business. She was creative, talented, and had a great gift for making things beautiful. But every time she sat down to get started, a thought would pop in her head. I just need to learn a little bit more before I get going on my dream. So she would buy another course or she'd read another book, take another workshop, and watch hours and hours of tutorials. She even had color coded notebooks filled with ideas, but no clients, no sales, and no real start. Meanwhile, her friend, who had far less skill and half the knowledge, launched her business. It was messy. She made a ton of mistakes, but she got better and better. And after a year, she had a thriving client base and a growing brand. Tessa watched from the sidelines and thought, how is she doing this? I know more than she does. I've studied more. But the truth was brutal. It wasn't that she knew more, it's that she did more. Zig Ziglar said it this way: you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. That one line changes everything. The friend didn't wait until she knew it all. She just acted. She gave herself permission, and that is what changed everything. Now, I want to go a bit deeper into this excuse. What if I told you that the excuse, I don't know enough, really isn't about knowledge at all? What if it's about something deeper? This excuse that we use, I just need to know a little bit more. I just need to learn a little bit more, really often stems from something more painful, that I'm not enough. And that's what we're going to talk about today in this part 3 of episode, are excuses killing your dreams. Because until you confront the lie of I'm not enough, you will try to keep learning. You'll keep preparing, but you'll never launch your dream. You'll never lead a successful business. You'll never live a bold life. Here's the secret no one tells you. I don't know enough is not about facts. It's really about fear. And more than that, it's about identity. It's the fear of being exposed, the fear of looking like a fraud, the fear of not being worthy to start. And the problem is this: you'll do exactly what you think about yourself. I love the quote by John Maxwell. He said, you'll never outperform the way you see yourself. Let that sink in. Deep down, you probably see yourself as not ready, not smart enough, or not qualified. Your actions will reflect that belief. Always. We cannot outperform the identity that we believe about ourselves. So if we're telling ourselves, once I know a little bit more, I'll be ready. Let's be honest, that day probably isn't coming, because it's not about more information. It's about avoiding exposure. So underneath this excuse, I don't know enough, really is a soundtrack playing in your head. If I try and fail, I'll look stupid. I don't want to embarrass myself. What if I prove that I'm not cut out for this? So we read another book, we watch another video, we take another course, and we call it preparation, but let's really call it what it really is: protection. We're protecting ourselves from the shame, from guilt, from stepping out and being seen. Because we convince ourselves as long as I'm still learning, no one can criticize me. Take, for example, a woman named Marie. Loved painting. She took every course, followed every artist, studied every technique, but she never showed her work. One day a friend said, "You know more about art than anyone I know, but you've never created anything real." That night, Marie started and hated her first three canvas paintings. But by the end of the month, she had a painting and she had sold it and made her first commission. And it wasn't talent that changed her life, it was action. It was finally painting. Not learning about it, not talking about it, but actually getting to the painting and then selling that painting and making money. So let's talk about the deeper beliefs fueling this excuse: I don't know enough. The first one is this: if I don't know everything, I don't belong. You think perfection earns you confidence. The truth is, progress is what earns confidence. So we've got to get past the "I don't know everything, I don't belong" excuse that's underlining and fueling the "I don't know enough." Number two is this: others know more. Why would anyone listen to me? In other words, we've consumed so much content of other people that really we've forgotten our own voice. We've started echoing what other people say instead of just actually speaking what we know. People, listen, people don't connect with experts. They connect with people that are just simply honest. Take, for example, a guy named Ray. He wanted to launch a podcast. He recorded 12 episodes and he deleted every one of them. "I just don't know enough yet," he told himself. But one day he's watching an episode of a guy, he's got a shaky mic and really no plan in the podcast, and something clicked with Ray. And so he uploaded episode 1 of his podcast. Today, the same first episode has fewer than 100 plays. But episode 100 by Ray has over 100,000 views. Listen, you don't get to episode 100 until you're humble enough to release episode 1. You can't buy in and be fueled by, why would they want to listen to me? Forget all of that. Just believe in yourself enough to get going. Number three of the belief that's fueling this excuse is: if I fail publicly, it will confirm that I'm not good enough. And we confuse failure with identity. But hear me say this: failure doesn't mean you're a failure, it means you're in the game. So, what is the way out of this excuse? Can I just say this? It's not needing more credentials. You don't need someone to say that you're ready. You don't even need to feel perfectly confident in the journey you're getting ready to take. You need to believe this: I already have what I need to take the next step. You may not fully be equipped for the whole journey, but you are equipped enough to begin. And beginning is where the real learning starts. Brendan Burchard said it this way: knowledge is only potential power. Action is where it turns into transformation. I heard another guy say something like this: knowing something doesn't change your life. You can know all kinds of stuff. You can, in fact, be an encyclopedia. You can cite things, you can know facts, you can know figures. Knowing something doesn't change your life, but doing something does. So here's my final challenge to you today. Here's what I want you to do. Say this out loud if you can. I know enough to take one step. That's all you got to say. I know enough to take one step. And I'm going to do that step today. And then ask yourself, if I trusted that I'm ready, what would I do today to start on my dream? And then go do it. Send that message that needs to be sent. Send the business offers. Start the project. Reach out to the person that you need to have the conversation with. Launch that post that may go viral. Take the next step. Listen, don't wait for clarity. Create clarity through motion. Don't let the excuse, I don't know enough, kill your dream, kill your calling, because what you do will always beat what you know. Let me say that again. What you do will always beat what you know. And here's what I know about you. Here's what I know about me. There is a bigger plan for your life. One that's meant to move you forward, not hold you back. A future full of hope, not fear. Even if you can't see it yet, you are not forgotten and your story isn't over. So stop believing the things that are fueling the excuse, I don't know enough. And then you can change by just simply doing. Well, that's it for part 3 of this series of episodes where we're answering the question, are excuses costing you your dream life? Listen, your dreams are waiting, but they don't need more information. They need you in motion. Let's get moving. Hey, if this inspired you, man, leave a review. Write in the comments, no more excuses. Share this episode with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe to get part 4 where we tackle the excuse, what if I fail? And remember, stay focused, stay disciplined, and keep sharpening